Hello and welcome to the Above Board podcast. I am Paul Jarvis, and as usual, I am joined by my co-founder, Jack Ellis. Today, we are going to talk about something that I heard on somebody else's show, and it was a great idea, so we are stealing it. It was from Ben and Adam's show, Hackers Incorporated, which is actually a really good podcast that I listen to. And they were having a conversation. I think it was just like questions from their audience or questions they had for each other. I don't know. It was questions. And I was like, those questions are actually pretty fun for any founder to have to answer with each other. So I think that's what we're going to do today. Did you want to talk about any updates for Fathom first before we get into the questions?
Yeah, sure. We've just dropped, well, I guess it'd be a week and a bit ago, we've dropped dynamic event names. So you can now call fathom.track event, and then the first parameter can be the event name, and then we will automatically create a goal for that. And you don't even really know about the concept of goals. It's just kind of happens in the background now. And then, yeah, that's what people have wanted for a long, long time. And we finally shipped it. So that feels good.
Yeah. So you don't have to go into Fathom now to create an event and then go into your code and add that event there. You just go into your code. So we're literally just saving you a step.
And we've added blocking as well. That's important because people are immediately going to think, what if someone says fathom.track event, fuck, or something?
Yes. Or vegan. Block. I'm assuming that was you today.
Yeah, I did that. So you can delete and block events if someone is spamming your events, which is because, I mean, you can do that with page views, right?
Yeah.
People can spam it. So we've accounted for that as well. Block and unblock. It's really flexible. And you can even programmatically send things like from your CMS or your e-commerce software, things like product names, product prices. So you could have an event that's your product name. If you have 1,000 events, you wouldn't have to, or 1,000 products, you don't have to create them like 1,000 times in Fathom. You just add that variable into our script and it can create them. So every time somebody buys that event, it'll show up as that event name, which is pretty cool. I think for the less technical, there are ways, and we need to start doing tutorials, don't we? But full-on tutorials where we explain more, but you can add a event listener to all the download links. I mean, Paul, I'm even thinking we could do tutorials. Like, imagine that they know that they have something like files.theirwebsite.com. We could help them write code so that any link that has files.theirwebsite.com automatically has a event listener that then dynamically says that file's downloaded. There are these tutorials we can do. I know we mentioned that in the docs kind of loosely. I definitely think that once we've shipped a few more things, we can start doing some tutorials. And I think we've got people that would want to write for us in the tutorial section.
We have had people write a tutorial for us. Exactly. Daniel did that for us. So
yeah. But yeah, I mean, everything's aligned at the moment and the fire is really, really burning. And we're moving really fast, faster than we've moved in a long time. So we've got a few things that are working.
Yeah, we updated our WordPress plugin for the first time in however long.
11 months.
Which is, But that's pretty awesome. Like, I think it's all just like little stuff too, but like it feels good that I think we did like 13 or 14 tweaks to the plugin. Just things like that are good.
And I'm not involved.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we added last 365 days to the date picker too. Which people have been, it's such a silly little thing, but people have been asking for it. And I think it's good to have just these like continual improvements and refinements to things.
Yeah, I think unless we've got to the point of having less open projects too, which is really nice now. I know we're going off on a few things here, but it's all relevant to Fathom the business.
Yeah.
We're shipping and closing some things. And then there are a few projects happening right now that we've spoken about. Ingest is getting a complete refactor. I'll obviously blog about that when it's done, and we've got some visions for that blog post.
Yeah.
But a lot's going good, so.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So, stolen from Hackers Incorporated, some questions. The first question is, what would you do differently if you were starting a new business? Like, say Fathom went away today and you have to start something new. What would you do what would you do differently for that business than you did with Fathom?
Not sure. What about you?
Damn it. I should have thought of my answer while I asked you the question. I think so. I think a really valid one that's we've been dealing with this year. So I guess there's two things. The first thing has been relying on vendors that weren't top quality or enterprise level vendors is one, because that's bit us in the ass. And the second thing is doing things that don't directly relate to the core focus and function of our product. Right. So we've had to kill off custom domains. We've killed off uptime monitoring. Those two things were good features to have, but they weren't specifically a core feature of what an analytics product could do, which is why we killed them off. And it makes sense why we killed them off, but it took us a lot. Yeah.
And we haven't publicly said, we killed off custom domains because our custom domain vendor was not working for us anymore. I'm not going to go into every single detail, but it absolutely was not working for us at all, which is really disappointing because I promoted the hell out of this company. And I don't know, I'm just a bit annoyed about the whole thing. And then the uptime monitoring, we were getting requests for various new features, and then we couldn't debug edge cases. And this wasn't our core focus. And it felt like we were offering this little add-on thing. And then you would always say, oh yeah, uptime monitoring, this free add-on. And it sort of gets to the point where you definitely didn't see us as being any kind of uptime monitoring company. Mm-hmm. And it just started getting me thinking, well, why do we have this in our product when it would make more sense for our customers to get a better service from a free product or something like that? And then we decided we'd rather spend all of our energy, our support energy too, not just dev energy, but support energy, on doing analytics, which is already hard enough. We didn't want to then be offering uptime monitoring. And so we simplified things and we focused in.
Yeah. There are whole companies that do uptime monitoring. Right. So, and I think that's one of the things is like, if you're white labeling something, it's not always just a matter of, well, is the vendor that I'm white labeling this from good or bad? It's, I need to support this. I need to document it. I need to promote it. I need to make sure that if it doesn't work, that I'm able to debug it. Because if your debugging is basically just you get a support request and you forward that support request, like that can break down sometimes, even when good companies are involved. And so, I would definitely try to keep our focus much more I would try to keep our focus much more focused if we were starting again, for sure.
Well, let's actually uptime monitoring as well. I mean, in the email we mentioned it, and a lot of people replied and they were very nice about it. The economics didn't work. What we were paying behind the scenes, if you were to use your full 50 site capacity, I think that we lose money. Did we lose money?
Or we make 20 cents or something. Our margins would have been shit.
No, I think we lost money.
Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't lose. No, we didn't lose money. Sorry. Oh no.
No, that's why we put a cap. That's why we put a 50 site cap.
Right. Yeah. So there was a bunch of stuff there. Yeah, and then this became a big thing when we were trying to work out how to do things. This would get in the way. But anyway, it was good while it lasted, and people enjoyed it and everything. But it's not a focus of ours, and that's now gone. So yeah, getting your focus on things when doing a new business, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What would we do the same? I think the fact that Fathom started from hype, iterative hype, makes sense, right? I came up with an idea, I drew it in Photoshop, and I tweeted about it, and that got a ton of hype.
You were the original hype man.
Oh God! And then I retired. I retired from hype, or I passed the baton over to you. But it was iterative, right? So Fathom started with a screenshot, and that got hype, and then it was built as an open source project, and that got a ton of hype, over 1 million downloads, and then it was built into a product, a very very simple product, and that got hype. And so I think a few times both of us have started things that didn't have any initial traction and that we just kept trying to push up the hill.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think I would probably pay more attention. Like, that's something that I would do the same again. I don't think I would start anything unless I could get that like gasoline on the fire effect that we had with Fathom.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Fuck, yeah, I kind of like, I mean, it's tricky because what would you do differently? It's also relies you remembering every little thing that we've done.
Yeah.
And I really don't, I sort of am focused on where we're at now. And I like where we're at now. One of the things that I've learned is that I am probably 100 times more productive when I'm focusing on, when I go from excitement to execution, I am 100 times more productive. I mean, it's I will literally zone in and be completely somewhat detached from reality and be able to just code well and fast and everything else when I'm excited. So I guess one of the things that I'm going to continue to do is try and execute quickly from the excitement. I think at one point we got into writing specs, and I hate that. I hate the long specs, and it's like, we're going to do this project in the future. Here's the spec for it. That just never has energized me. Whereas when we talk, we're excited about something and it's going to help our customers do this and do that. When we go from that to execution, and me and you are going back and forth, this is going really far back, by the way. I mean, I'm going early days, but when we're excited and we got the back and forth going on and it's ping, pong, ping, pong, ping, pong, I really, really like that. And it keeps me consistently energized. Affiliate system, our referral system, how we built that was back and forth, decision.
Yeah.
There was no long spec. We just took action. So defaulting to action and less planning where possible, at least for me, I get that when you hire people, when you have freelancers or full-time engineers, you have to do some kind of spec. But I think for me as a founder, I like to run with the energy. I do. I mean, that's just me personally. Everyone's psychology is different, right? But I've learned. Yeah, that's what I would do more of.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think, if we were starting Fathom specifically again, given if we didn't start Fathom in the first place 4 or 5 years ago, if we were starting this specific company again, I think I would probably pay more attention to what you were saying. And when things aren't working, come up with a solution faster. Because I feel like we stuck on a few things that weren't working for too long.
Well, and like custom domains, what do you think?
No, like things like me not taking over organization and management
and WordPress. I can't believe that hadn't happened.
And WordPress, I know.
It seems so obvious now. You literally built WordPress plugins for however long, and definitely been involved in. You worked with Zach, and you guys did a couple of plugins. I think you've done other stuff, so it makes sense that you are managing the WordPress plugin, not me.
Yep, exactly.
Amongst other things.
Yeah, and I think having somebody that's kind of keeping track of the overall plan while all of these little projects are going and happening quickly, I think is important. And I should have stepped into that probably a lot sooner than I did. But I mean, 2020.
I was also probably I was holding on to it as well. Yeah. I didn't actively ask you to take it over. Because I'm the developer, right? I'm the senior developer. That's the person that should manage everything. But nah, probably not.
Yeah. What did we spend too much time on at the start of Fathom, or when you came on? Because that's basically the start of Fathom, the company.
Yeah. I don't think anything. I mean, I saw it as I was losing money when I was working on Fathom because I was freelancing and I was paid hourly. So when I wasn't doing freelancing, I was basically working on Fathom, hoping it would go somewhere. We didn't waste time. My time was very limited. And I remember we had that document of things to do and we just attacked it. We incorporated properly. We didn't overthink that. Some people won't do that. I mean, I think that's important. I like having the company. Getting a limited company set up in Canada is absolutely easy.
Yeah.
So I know in Germany it can be harder, or at least I think. So I'm not going to say to everyone, "Oh, that's what you should do." But I knew that we wanted that from the get-go, so that wasn't a waste of time.
Well, we also did have revenue at that point too, right? Like we did, I think we were at like $1,000 MRR or something. Like we had enough money where it was like, okay, this thing should be a real thing. So,
I've got one. What did I personally, I spent too much time caring about competitors. They're completely irrelevant, and the people you want to attract, you'll attract them. The people you don't want to attract can go to the competitors. Too much time spent thinking about them. I don't even think about competitors nowadays, which is really funny.
No, we don't have time. We don't have time. We're too busy
doing our own thing.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. Like we're us and competitors are going to have similar features that come out, and it's not like one's copying the other. It's just the market wants these fucking features.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I was like, I just don't care about that. I think I probably spent too much time on that in the beginning too. But yeah, I just don't. We have so much going on and so much like in our own lane, and like it's a big market. Like we also pick something that's a big market. Like there's enough room for competitors, and like when somebody new comes up, I actually haven't seen, and I don't know if this is because I don't pay attention anymore, but I don't think there's been any new like simple privacy focused analytics companies that have like kind of come out lately. There was like a bunch that came out like in the year after we came out and it started to get big, but I don't even know if there are new ones. I don't know. There might be.
Well, but people will start them because they think it's a quick way to make money, right? And then they realize how hard it is to grow a business. And I've seen lots start and people have invested money, then they've shut down.
Yeah.
People just try and follow the hype is what I've noticed. So yeah, too much focus or too much getting annoyed about that stuff at times, but that's probably it. I mean, we were really efficient with our time.
Yeah. I think in the beginning we were better at managing our time. No.
We were basically just about covering bills. Yeah, no, it was honestly, when you're working full time and you've got all of this time to think about how to use, that's when I think you can spend time on the wrong things, or that's when I think you can not spend time in the right way. Mm-hmm. In the early, I don't know, it varies by person, doesn't it? But we had a very clear vision, so we didn't waste time in the beginning. We were pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, we still have I think that's one of the benefits of having a business that grows and that people like and that people talk about and that customers are super hyped on. Like, we know what we need to do. Like, it's not a matter of like, I don't know what our customers want. You and I all four of us in Fathom know exactly what our customers want and what we need to build. It's just a matter of, okay, what makes sense to build in the right order and what makes sense to prioritize above other things.
So, yeah, I agree with that. And not getting distracted too.
Yeah.
Like things that seem important at the time, but then, okay, so custom domains, right? That, it's almost like anytime we focus on delivering something that we can't control in some way, or that it's excessively complex, let's say, that then bites us in the butt. We have fully got to the point where we keep things simple, we ship it, customers are happy. We just need to do more of that and not get in the weeds of using a third-party vendor for custom domains, which then we have to rely on them not being beep and everything. So
yeah, not having the same standards that we do with customer support.
Absolutely.
Wah, wah, wah. Was there anything in the beginning that we should have spent more time on but didn't?
Nope.
Yeah, I think we've covered that. I think we're pretty efficient.
No, if I look at the Fathom journey, I genuinely think that the things what I consider to be distractions or overly complex focus points, that is the biggest thing we've done wrong. Yeah. I think marketing's been great, code's been great. I just think that focus has been one of the big things.
Yeah, I agree. Do you reflect on how far we've come ever?
Used to.
Yeah.
Now, no, I don't. Do you?
Yeah. No, I mean, so the only thing I think about for as far as how far we come is like when I go into Stripe and I look at our MRR and I'm like, oh, this is another milestone. Like, this is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I don't really think about like how we went from it being basically a side project because we were both working full time on other things to this is our lives now. Like, I don't I don't even have any side projects anymore. For the longest time, I always had like a side project or like another little thing that I was working on top of the main thing. Now all I have is the main thing, and like it's just Fathom, and that's literally all I do all day.
Yeah, I mean there's so much going on.
But it supports it. Like it supports the salary of 4 people, and I'm stoked on that.
I guess the only time there's this thing going around on Twitter, which is this girl's just upset about having to do this bullshit commute. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know what it's about.
She got a degree and she's working at a job that she thinks that she's overqualified for.
Yeah, and she's
commuting. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, people getting stressed about the commute. I can empathize with that. Although I used to enjoy my commute because I didn't actually, because if I was late for work, I got a kind of look.
I hated commuting. I commuted for a year and a half in my late teens, early 20s when I dropped out of school. And after doing it for a year and a half, I was just like, I need to find a job where I never do this again. And then I did that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah. So that thought comes to me sometimes. Sometimes, I mean, I'll look out the window and people are in a rush, and if I'm driving on the road, people are in a rush and speeding past and everything. And I sometimes think it's kind of nuts that I'm in a position where I can work on whatever I want in the day. You know, obviously it has to benefit customers and everything.
Yeah.
But I can choose what I want to work on. And I think that's quite a surreal feeling, actually. Mm-hmm. Freedom is definitely something I think about.
Yeah, people pay us to do something we were doing before people were paying us to do it.
Actually, yeah.
Like, it's kind of like we wouldn't have kept doing it if we didn't get paid for Fathom for a long time. Like, Fathom wouldn't exist unless it was profitable. But
exist, yeah.
In the beginning, neither of us were getting paid to do it. We were covering our expenses to start, and then we started paying ourselves once it went past the expenses.
Yeah, fuck. I guess now we're reflecting on how far the business has come, because there was a time when we weren't. Well, we weren't. No, we didn't. We weren't getting paid, were we, for a period of time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we were literally covering our server bills, and that was it.
Wow, that's weird. All right, this is us reflecting then.
Yeah. What's been your favorite part of having Fathom as a company so far?
I mean, I don't know if there's a specific event that happened, but definitely the day-to-day, just getting to run it with people that I like. I enjoy that. I enjoy the team we've built. We've got a good team, just nice people, fun people.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. So I enjoy the day-to-day of Fathom. I don't think there's a standout event. I mean, I like doing big launches. When we've done that, that's been fun. I like seeing the feedback from big launches. That's always fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think my favorite part, definitely the team. Like, I love the guys that I work with. Like, the 4 of us, I think, are such a great fit. And it's, we're lucky that we found the people that we have, even the freelancers that we work with. We're pretty lucky that we found some pretty awesome people. But yeah, I think my favorite part is crossing the finish line on things.
Yeah.
Like, I feel a stress, and not like a huge stress, but a stress if something's started but not done. So when things are done, and like when I can cross things off of the team list that I have each week from our stand-up meetings, then that's my favorite part. And I mean, that ties into, like, my least favorite part is when we start something and don't launch it, right? Or if something takes a long time and then it takes so long that we rethink how we did it and then have to do it again again. Yeah.
That's changing, but I completely agree.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like the new thing that we've kind of been working on. We talked about in the last episode is having more of like a structure through like weekly meetings and me keeping track of everything. I think has been helping, because then we can see like what people are working on, what people are finishing, and like build that momentum, build that energy from just like getting stuff done. And it's cool. Like, all of us feel pretty awesome. Like, when we ship something and like send an email and like customers are stoked. It's just like, it's cool. Like, I like that people like us. Like, it's such a silly thing, but like, I enjoy working on something that people enjoy. So, I mean, that's why I used to write books and articles. It's like, if people didn't like that thing, if I didn't receive positive validation from that all the time, then I wouldn't have done it.
For sure.
I would have just done something else. And I mean, that could be a character flaw that, like, I only like doing things where I get positive reinforcement, but I'm also lucky that the things that I've done so far for work has, not always, but like for a lot of the big things, I'd get positive reinforcement for, and I kind of got used to it too.
You can live without positive reinforcement. So I don't
I killed off my mailing list where I used to get like hundreds or thousands of emails a week. Exactly. And like, I don't need it.
You're not dependent on it. It's just, it is nice.
It feels fucking awesome, but
yeah, we're getting the feedback from the customer. You sometimes forget how much people get excited about stuff. And when we make even when we make changes where we're removing stuff, remember all the emails where everyone, I'd say 95% of emails, maybe 99% of emails, I don't know how many there was, so, understand why you're taking it away, really happy that you're focusing on the product. And we got tweets about that. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah. And like, it's always a worry, right? Like, we worry before we take something away, like, is this going to hurt our business? And like, the last thing we took away, I can count the number of customers that left on a hand.
Yep.
Like, it was a bit of a risk, but I think it was a smart risk because and we were honest about it. Like, we told everybody, like, the reason we're taking this away from you is so we can do more for you for the thing that you actually are paying us for, the analytics product. And the day we're recording this, we're sending in an email telling everybody about dynamic events, which is something we've been able to build because we didn't have to focus on other stuff. So
we could be transparent too and say that as part of obviously we communicate what we're doing and make decisions based on what we think is right. There's also the financial thing that you might worry about when making a decision like that. One of the things we had to do was we had to say, okay, how many customers could we lose over this one change and still be profitable from the expense saved from what we spend to maintain this feature?
Yep.
Right. Not including dev time. And we came nowhere near our worst case. We came nowhere close to.
Exactly. So, but it was good to know what that was. It was good to figure out like the nuts and bolts of that decision. So, knowing what you know about Fathom and our company, if you and I hadn't started it and somebody came to you today, or I came to you today, same scenario basically. I come to you today and I'm like, hey, do you want to start this analytics company with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you start Fathom again today?
Yeah.
What? It depends what I'm doing already. Would I be freelancing?
Yeah, I guess it's the same scenario that you and I were both in before we started Fathom. That just kept going for 4 or 5 years, and now we're here.
I mean, the answer is yes. I mean, if we're talking about the same trajectory that's going to happen, then yeah, I'd start Fathom again today.
Yeah.
That's an easy question.
Yeah. I mean, we know it's profitable and we know it's for the most part enjoyable. So that is kind of a softball of a question. I agree.
It's hard work. I mean, don't get me wrong. People definitely don't realize when they're thinking about startups, it's definitely a marathon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would.
Yeah. I mean, the passive income from a SaaS just requires all day work to get that passive income. Yeah. Because you get money every month and you just have to work for it every month, kind of like every other job. But yeah. I guess the final question is something that I think you said somebody tweeted to us, so we can answer that here because we're answering questions. How does one align oneself? So how do you get the team aligned with a single vision?
Have a call every week. That's it. That's the answer.
Yeah.
For a small team, that's the answer.
Yeah, and I think have somebody in charge of keeping accountability to what was talked about on the call and what was kind of plan for what needs to get done.
But that is it. That is above board.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for listening, and we will be back in your ears in a couple weeks.
Au revoir.